Today's face-off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams. Ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Let's be clear, this is not just rigging the system in Texas. It's about rigging the system against the rights of all Americans for years to come.
That's Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker vowing to protect Texas Democrats who fled to his state over the weekend in an effort to break quorum on a vote happening today to redraw Texas's voter maps. Now, overnight, Governor Abbott issuing this statement to Texas Democrats, accusing the absentee lawmakers of committing felonies by soliciting funds to pay fines that they will incur under House rules for being absent. He is also threatening to remove any Democrat who doesn't return by 3 o'clock this afternoon when the House reconvenes. Republicans have planned to vote for today on new maps that could potentially give Republicans 5 more seats in Washington, which could protect and solidify the GOP's House majority. Now, last night, Texas Democrats spoke from Chicago, where they accused the governor and Republicans of trying to appease President Trump and silence voters.
They gave 48 hours. 48 hours after they finally revealed the maps for the public to drive 6-7 hours across the state to come testify. And they were given 2 minutes each, and they had, some people waited 15 hours to testify. And we didn't even finish the testimony. And we asked them, could you please go out and ask? And they said, like, oh, well, this is not, the people who testified are not reflective of the opinions of the people of the state of Texas. Then I said, why don't you go out and do more hearings and let people have their say? They refused.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
The last speaker was State Representative Gene Wu. Him and other members of the Texas, not the federal, but the Texas House of Representatives have fled to various states. They've been welcomed by New York and Chicago, or New York and Illinois. It's shocking to see them all migrate to the city of Chicago that is overwhelmed with violent crime and poverty and all sorts of issues, as if it's somehow, and then we listen to the lecture from their billionaire Governor J.B. Pritzker, who loves to tell other people how they should live from behind his walled, gate-guarded life. But what we talked about redistricting last week. I don't think we need to dive into it, but for those who don't understand, without a quorum, without enough members of the State House present, votes can't proceed. Texas is currently in a special session called by the governor to address some legislative issues that he didn't feel like were addressed during the regular session. This has happened before. It happened a few years ago. There is a fine of $500 a day. Our governor is saying, and the Attorney General have both chimed in, if they accept funds to pay those fines, they are going to prosecute them. They're also talking about bringing the issue to district court to remove elected representatives who are not doing their job by appearing at the State House. There's all kind of consequences they're talking about. They're talking about extraditing them, having them arrested, and this, everybody's upset about the redistricting, but as we talked about last week, it is, the only comparable state in our union to Texas is California. And of course, they're much more lopsided in favor of Democrats and gerrymandered in favor of Democrats, but because the Republicans typically don't have a racialized argument and the media doesn't care, no one cares, right? No one cares when it's gerrymandering except when it's gerrymandering to benefit Republicans. I personally think gerrymandering sucks, period. I think it should all be drawn on sensible, logical community lines without any thought to race. Initially, this was largely done, gerrymandering was largely done by federal courts seeking to carve these weird racialized districts, which I don't think make any damn sense, right? I don't think it should do it for Republicans. I don't think we should do it for Democrats. I think the city of Houston should be divided if it has more than one representative in logical, regular old sections. But that's not ever going to happen. We have people, and one of my former law school classmates, Ann Johnson, we reached a line I won't cross. Abbott's map is a direct assault on our Constitution. If we're not willing to put ourselves in the way of that, we shouldn't be here. Of course, again, no concern about what it goes on in California or Democrat states, only here, it's nonsense. Me, I'm kind of glad they left. The governor, surprisingly, vetoed the totalitarian, fascist, nonsense anti-marijuana bill that was passed both by the Texas Senate, or the anti-THC, by the Texas Senate and the Texas House. And they, of course, day one, Texas Senate put that back in. We got to get cops searching more cars to find those bad people with that evil marijuana. And it was about to go in front of the state reps again, and of course that's shut down. So I'm anti-gerrymandering. I'm anti them. You know, I think we have our legislators doing too much anyway. But Quanell, they're breaking a damn law, and they probably should suffer the consequences.
This is not the first time that this has happened, where state legislators of Texas in particular have fled to other states in the fight for redistricting. I can recall 20-something years ago, you mentioned just 5 years ago, maybe this has happened before. This is the third time. But I would say to Democrats, brothers and sisters, all you Democrats, the people are not galvanizing around this issue like at one time they did. Because the masses of the voters, who are Democratic voters historically, have become disillusioned and untrustful of our elected officials in the political process in this nation. Many of us see every time the politicians call us out to fight for them and fight for their interests, because many of them, it's about their interests, not the people. When we do this, Charles, the condition of the community remains the same or it gets worse, and there's no real improvements or real change. And so when you're asking the mass of the people to get angry and upset about this redistricting, and I understand it's a Republican move to maintain control and expand their power, but our people are disillusioned because we're losing faith in the political process to make significant real change for black people. And so Republicans are going to enforce whatever they can enforce. The governor will do what Governor Abbott always has done. He's a henchman for Donald Trump and Donald Trump's agenda. But at the end of the day, even if we succeed in stopping this vote, does it really make a difference in poor black and brown neighborhoods? Will the community get better?
I mean,
will
at least you
include
brown neighborhoods at the end there, Quanell.
It's not getting any better for us, period. So why are we really getting excited about this when we're not seeing any real changes?
Well, you went through this whole thing about how, but of course these are Democrats talking of all races, and you narrowed it down to just black people, as you typically do, because that seems to be your only concern.
I'm concerned about somebody else's neighborhood that's doing much better than black and brown neighborhoods, and I'm a black man.
You added brown at the end.
And I'm a black man.
But
in the Houston area, black and brown folks live together in the same neighborhoods.
I mean, we shouldn't look through the lens of race when we talk about any issue like you do.
But
that's called racism.
Race.
Well, let's talk about the race of districting. We had like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in New York, who basically cosplayed oppression and poverty despite growing up in Westchester, right? She has done nothing for the Bronx. Jasmine Crockett has accomplished nothing legislatively. What those two women have done, right, in their very gerrymandered districts because of race, is they've made themselves incredibly famous and set themselves up for incredible lives of wealth. God rest her soul, Sheila Jackson Lee. She was always very gracious when I was around her. She didn't historically accomplish much of anything other than earning the reputation of being the meanest congressperson for employees to work for.
But I noticed that you point out Democratic women of color.
Well,
you ain't put out one white Democrat.
Well, because
but you claim I bring up race.
Well, you
but
did,
you bring up three
and
women
I was
who are
responding to that.
Only black and brown women. You don't bring up no white women.
You made this all about race.
I see you didn't bring no white women up.
Oh, because earlier when it wasn't about race.
Talk about
when we were talking about
the issue of redistricting.
Well, because I was quoting Ann Johnson, a white woman, right? And I was talking about Jean Wu, an Asian man.
Is Ann Johnson a Democrat?
Because yes.
But you ain't saying no bad about her.
Well, I was criticizing her, and then no, it's not.
Criticizing black and brown women.
If you'll hit rewind when you watch this show,
you criticize black and brown
I was
women.
talking about Ann Johnson and Jean Wu, a white woman and an Asian man, and being critical. No, I was being critical of her hypocrisy.
Oh,
right?
You didn't say that.
No, that's exactly what I said. Pay attention when I'm talking, maybe, if you're going to say I didn't say something. But more importantly, you're the one that put this all through the lens of race. I was responding to you, right? I think this isn't a racial issue. How are other human beings not your people because they don't share your skin color,
No,
Quanell?
I didn't say
Why
that.
are you such
I
a
didn't say
constant
that. I didn't
racist?
say
That's
that.
exactly what you just said.
Brothers and sisters,
Oh, I hate
no
racism,
black
but
man can
but-
be a
oh,
racist without power.
how
to
incredibly
inflict and implement
convenient.
That racism
How
on another
incredibly
people.
convenient.
We don't have that power, so we cannot be racist.
So you can be racist, but you can also not be
and
racist.
guess what?
Brilliant.
When a black man loves his people, it's called racism.
Somebody got hurt?
Why you got the balloons out, y'all?
Around, look at all these people here. It's no longer safe.
We want to do crowd control.
That's what we're trying to do.
I understand.
Trying to get people out.
Did somebody get hurt?
There's been plenty already.
Really?
A baby got maced.
What?
Yeah, somebody maced one of the kids over there.
So a civilian maced the child here?
That wasn't us though. I think it was the security. It wasn't the sheriff's office.
Oh, wow.
Kids, babies, everybody go today. Wow. We gotta go to Jonathan Sir. Where can we go? If we can. Because I'm going to jump on the car with my So what they did was, okay, so everybody had
Here's Quanell X.
Charles, that was a video of the grand opening of a beauty salon, and a top social media influencer was putting on an event and giving away free hair as an appreciation.
Wait, where? Free hair?
As an appreciation for the opening of the beauty salon. And you saw hundreds of women, and what you saw was hundreds of black women. Maybe there was a few other women out there, but the overwhelming majority of the women were black women. And women started fighting. As the officer said in the segment, that a child was maced and some women were assaulted in just fighting to get the hair in line. It broke my heart to see it, because I asked myself the question, is this what we have come to as a people in our community? I want to say to black women, ask yourself the question, dear sisters. Are any other race of women anywhere in America lining up by the hundreds so they can purchase black hair? Let's give them back their hair, and let us celebrate our own natural hairstyles. Let us boycott buying and fighting and shedding blood and macing people and spending hundreds of dollars. And some of these beauty salons and hair places are letting you buy hair on credit and financing it with high interest rates for you to buy somebody else's hair. Give them back their hair, and let's celebrate our own hair. You don't see no other race anywhere in America, their women lining up to buy black hair. So let's give them back their hair. And could you imagine, according to what I saw coming from Brother Charlemagne and them on the Breakfast Club a year ago, the weave hair industry has become a $1 billion industry. Could you imagine if black women said for 1 year, give them back their hair, we won't buy it, but we will take the money that we spend on weave hair, pull the resources for after school programs and literacy programs for our children to raise test scores, and then we'll take some of that money and give out scholarships to the top 10% or top 20% of the children who graduated from the high school class. Then we'll take some of that money and we'll rebuild some of the fallen infrastructure so that black-owned businesses can now start producing jobs for our adolescent children. We could take that money and do some real significant good within our community if we just stop buying other people's hair. And why are we buying other people's hair who don't give a damn about us?
You know, I honestly think sometimes there's multiple Quanells, because just the show yesterday, you were attacking the idea that there were cultural problems about theft and violence and rioting and events like this. But let me stick up for black women. First of all, I find it ludicrous that two bald men are talking about hair especially someone criticizing black women for black hair, fake hair. I don't know, man. I don't know. But look, that's you. But here's the thing. There are all kinds of, when you say there's no one else buying black hair, of course, white women and Asian women and Latina women aren't buying black hair. They're buying white, Asian, and Latina hair. But the hair industry, the weaves, the pull-ins, every race of woman is doing that now. Everyone from the elite celebrities, actresses, to reality TV stars like Kim Kardashian, it's all over the place because we have this culture of plastic surgery and fake hair and nonsense. But I think it's absurd for men do it too, right? And I will tell you, the reason I don't have fake hair is because they don't make good white fake hair. The black male fake hair is top shelf. It's amazing. It's absolutely. I have friends that do it.
It's for white men.
Yeah, but they don't work. They don't look good. I don't know I don't know your regimen, right?
I got one of the coldest barbers in the game.
But
I got one of the coldest barbers in the game.
I have black friends that are bald.
And this man is significant.
And they get a line put in, and they get the hair filled in, and it looks incredible.
You can get that
so
done.
why are you criticizing black women for doing the same crap?
Now let me answer that.
If I want to criticize them, it's for acting the fool because you get a damn discount.
Let me answer that.
Please go ahead.
Because the black men that are doing it, at least they're getting it done with black hair. Black men's hair.
Oh my God,
black
hypocrisy.
men's hair. You ain't got black men going to barbershop and getting white men hair put in their head.
Okay.
What I'm saying to black women is, look, yes, other races of women, they're getting weave hair too, but they're not weaving black women's hair. So if other races don't want to buy our hair, why are we now so psychologically inferior and self-hating ourselves that we would spend thousands of dollars and make it $1 billion industry to buy somebody else's hair?
Let's change.
We got to fall in love with our own
Let's listen to some liberal white female self-hate, because that's really dominating the spaces now. We've got a woman mad at another woman for having braids and calling it cultural appropriation and, just all the nonsense. Can we see that clip, please, Matt?
How can my hair be cultural appropriation when Vikings are literally the ones that invented...
Hi, my name is Henny and I'm from Iceland, and I wanted to share a bit of history with you. See, you're so interested in Viking history. Did you know that the only reason why you know as much as you do about the Vikings is because of the Icelandic people that wrote the Icelandic sagas, one of which was Snorri Sturluson. He also wrote the Prose Edda. He's the reason why you know about Norse mythology. Anyway, he was my great-grandfather going past 18 generations. He was talking about his own great-grandparents going back another 10 to 15 generations. Now, that means that he was talking about my own great-grandparents going back 30 to 35 generations. Most of the people in most of the sagas are related to me. I've checked, right? Because I'm autistic and I'm really interested in genealogy and stuff like that. So I already know that most of the people in the Viking history, in the sagas, are my great-grandparents. Anyway, I know a lot about the Vikings. And as it goes, none of them wore box braids. None of them, right? There is no provable knowledge of any Vikings wearing box braids ever in the history of anything to do with Icelandic history, Scandinavian history, Viking history, sagas, there is no knowledge of any box braids being included.
So this is a white Icelandic woman criticizing a white American woman who is tired of being criticized for cultural appropriation because of the hairstyle she likes. There is nothing stupider, right? In this current, we have such an incredible appetite to point at white people and say racism is too contrived. We just saw it with the Sydney Sweeney nonsense that has broken records for sales for American Eagle. And we get this constant barrage of just striving for racism, while just like you said, was it the last segment or yesterday, that you can't be racist because you're not white. So we have that's what you said. You said a black man can't be racist. You literally said a black man can't be racist.
A black man cannot be racist.
Oh, then you're saying it again.
And black people have no power to inflict racism on white people in America.
There's an incredible appetite in America right now for black racism as being okay. You make it. You argue that it's okay. Yes, you love it. You do. That's your trade. That's your
heart.
business,
Bless your
right?
heart, you
And there's
poor
also
thing.
an insatiable appetite to tell white people doing nothing but styling their hair that they're racist or cultural appropriators, or for shutting down in more progressive cities,
white woman said
shutting
that, not
down
me.
restaurants because they had the audacity to make a taco or make Asian food if they don't have the right skin color, and the wrong skin color is only white. Right? And these self-loathing white liberal women, who I think are pretty much responsible for most of the problems in America today, right? They hate themselves so much, right, that they look for any reason to criticize other whites. And this poor girl has a very good point. She put braids in her hair. I don't get mad when Beyonce has blonde hair because I don't care. It looks good on Beyonce. Does it make Beyonce happy? Probably. Good for her. Yay!
I will say this. I will say this to black women who feel that white women should not wear braids because it's disrespectful or offensive to black culture. What if white women turned around and said to black women, well, then don't wear blonde hair because that's disrespectful to our culture. Stop wearing our hair, stop wearing other races of women hair in your head because that's disrespectful to their culture. So I would say to black women, some of the very women that are angry with this white woman who wearing braids are women with a head full of weave hair, some other racist woman in their head in our community. It's madness, it's foolishness, and it's ignorance. If the white girl want to wear hair, let her do her thing. Sisters, we got to get away from fighting, squabbling, lip wrestling, and paying hard-earned money to look like somebody else. Let's celebrate looking like ourselves. Let's celebrate falling in love with our own self-image. But America taught black women to hate themselves for the texture of their hair, the broadness of their nose, and the thickness of their lips. Black inferiority complexes were not self-taught. That was systematically taught to
you mean
our
there's
people,
not color,
women and men.
There's not colorism all over Africa? But hey,
Colorism
braids,
over Africa?
let's bring back more Bo Derek-like braids in this country.
The number one product selling in African countries right
and
now.
bikinis.
Do your research.
I'm all for it. When y'all find some fake hair for me.
That's it for the Face Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.